kind of a wild weather day ahead.
We do, yes. Some thunderstorms out there right now, moving towards Nashville just in time for the Monday morning commute, as if Monday morning needed to get worse. We got some rain on the way. The forewarned weather alert, though, that we're talking about, that's for the storms this afternoon. More on that in a second. First, let's deal with the here and now. Some heavy rain moving through Todd and Logan counties in southern Kentucky, but the heaviest rain is in Robertson County down into northern Cheatham County. Quite a few cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, but that number, the total strikes, 54. That's just in the last 10 minutes. That's a lot of electrical activity, but that number was 86 just a little while ago. Now it's down to 47. So we're seeing a gradual diminishing trend to the amount of lightning, and that means the thunderstorms are also showing a gradual diminishing trend. The lightning numbers go down as the storms kind of collapse. So as these storms sweep through Nashville, they're not going to produce any severe weather. No wind gusts over 60 miles an hour, no hail bigger than 1 inch across. Might be some small, maybe pea-sized hail because the upper atmosphere is pretty cold. The tops of these thunderstorms are well below freezing. But as these storms move through, they are going to produce some locally heavy rain, and that's a problem for the morning commute. They're going to be in downtown Nashville right around 7 o'clock, so western portions of the metro going to get that rain just a little bit earlier. Looking outside and already seeing cloud cover over Woodland Middle School in Brentwood. Seeing quite a bit of rain that has moved through Clarksville. The clouds just starting to move towards Smith County and Carthage, though. Kind of a pretty look of the clouds being illuminated there by the rising sun. Check out temperatures, upper 50s, low 60s, common across the mid-state. The influence of that cloud cover and strong winds out of the southwest also bring in more moisture towards us. We're not going to warm up a lot. The morning rain is going to slow down the warm-up. That's a hopeful sign for the severe weather potential later on today, helping to limit that severe weather potential because you need warm, humid air near the ground. It's not real muggy out there right now. The humidity has to get boosted a lot for severe weather to happen. It's more likely for that to happen along and south of Interstate 40. It's not impossible for the northern part of the mid-state. Everybody has that slight risk of severe weather for today, but I think the greatest potential this afternoon will be as you head farther and farther south and southeast. Elevated threat of both strong straight-line winds and large hail, more than 1 inch in diameter. Isolated tornado threat, also a concern, but the bigger threat does look like it's going to be from wind and hail. Often on showers and storms that are not likely to be as severe tomorrow, then a drier, warmer day on Wednesday. And it does look like this is going to be a minor event for the metro area. Very dry air in place over the mid-state. Just saw something from the National Weather Service. They're getting some data back from the weather balloon they sent up. And there's very dry air farther up in the atmosphere. That's limiting the amounts that we're going to see for the metro. Farther south, though, there's more moisture and it's going to fall. In fact, it's already falling. Let's take a look outside right now. Metro, just a lot of clouds. No problems on the roads as you're hitting the roads for work, at least weather-wise. Jennifer will check any other potential problems in just a moment. Our 401 live radar in the circle. That's where you're getting some stuff hitting the ground. The atmosphere has more moisture there through the whole depth of the atmosphere. So again, it's not just what's happening on the ground. The part of the atmosphere where the weather happens goes up about 8 miles into the atmosphere. So it matters what happens farther off the ground. You get these little layers of either warm air or dry air, and that can really mess with the forecast. But right now, we are seeing that sleet and snow falling in Wayne, Lawrence County, down into Giles County as well, and edging its way farther to the north. But that dry air really kicks in around Columbia or so and continues up towards the I-40 corridor. We have warmed up a degree in Nashville, 26 degrees, still well below freezing. 20 Clarksville, 17 Hopkinsville, it's 31 in Fayetteville. That's a degree below freezing, so whatever falls is going to be able to stick. Not much of a wind chill around the metro area. Feels like 21. Does feel like 9 in Hopkinsville. You need to bundle up as you're heading out the door. Southern Kentucky, you don't need to worry about snow. You might see a couple flurries later on today, but the snow is going to stay on the Tennessee side of the border with this system. Kind of a reversal of what so often happens around here in the wintertime. Mid-30s for highs in the metro area. That's above freezing, but again, it's not just what happens on the ground. It's farther up in the atmosphere, and that layer of warm air, not really warm, but above freezing air is so shallow that the snow is going to fall into it. It's not going to melt before it hits the ground, especially where the warmer air is even shallower in southeastern Middle Tennessee. That's where the greatest snow accumulations are going to occur. This is where the National Weather Service has issued winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings. The purple shaded counties, those are winter weather advisories. In general, 1 to 3 inches of snow. It's kind of a wide range, so we'll narrow it down in just a second. The pink shaded counties, Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin, possibility of 3 to 5 inches of total snow. The farther southeast you go, the more snow you're going to run into. And of course, a lot of problems, not only for us, but outside of the mid-state, Alabama, East Tennessee, and then down into Georgia as well. Less than an inch for the metro area. Talking about an inch or so in the white striped area that we're looking at to the south and southeast of the metro. Around 2 inches or so in the teal area, and then about 3 or so in the dark blue. The range forecasts, Everybody always focuses on the high end number, like what's the potential? What could we get? That's what you could get. What you're more likely to get is the lower end of the range forecast. So less than an inch for the metro area. We are not included in that winter weather advisory in Williamson or Davidson counties. Rutherford County, you are included. Snow amounts will pick up as you head southeast through Rutherford County. Tomorrow, the snow will melt. Temperatures will reach the mid-40s for the metro, but not in the areas where the snow accumulates. You'll be stuck around 40 degrees. A little rain snow mix on Friday, but it shouldn't stick. Here we go with what's going to happen over the next 24 hours. We're going to see more thunderstorms developing later on today, but for this morning, we're in a break in the action. There's some patchy dense fog out there, especially down I-24 where some of the heaviest rain fell yesterday. Skies are expected to clear. In fact, that's happened in Nashville. It's going to happen across the rest of the mid-state. That additional sunshine, well, that means more energy. We're going to warm up. Yesterday's high only reached 72 degrees in Nashville. That's why we didn't see severe weather to as great an extent around Metro, just flooding problems, which is obviously severe enough. The risk of severe storms is for this afternoon and this evening as temperatures warm up to close to 80 degrees and as humidity increases, which we expect it to do, and that's when the severe potential really goes up. All types of severe weather possible: flooding, isolated tornadoes, hail, damaging winds, all on the board still at this point. But the storms don't exist yet. We have to wait for them to develop to see how it actually plays out. So we, along with you, are in wait and see mode. We have the computer simulations to help us out with what's going to happen. We'll show you those in just a second, but there's still a lot of uncertainty with this forecast. Saw some of that patchy fog there in Bedford County. Skies have cleared out in Clarksville. Skies are in the process of trying to clear out in Macon County, but still holding on to overcast conditions for the moment. Filtered sunshine over downtown Nashville, still some high clouds overhead. More clouds in Smith County. Clear skies over West Nashville right now. And again, that sunshine warming things up, just kind of not only adding more powder to the powder keg, but increasing the size of the powder keg. The warmer we get, the more moisture the atmosphere can hold, and that's the concern. Here's where the thunderstorm activity is right now, way down to our south and southeast. We're in a break. Across the mid-state in southern Kentucky, Alabama's in a break, Mississippi's in a break. This is where things are going to develop later on today. Temperatures are in the low 60s, and some dry air has moved into the mid-state. You can see kind of where it cuts off, where you go from yellow to green. In the green color in the background, that's where temperatures are in the 50s. The air is drier, but I expect that dividing line to actually, what we call retrograde. It backs up a little bit. Let's take a look at the forecast moisture levels in the atmosphere. Again, this is the dew point number, which gives us an idea of how much moisture is in the atmosphere. We're in the upper 50s right now in Nashville. So the computers have a good handle on that. Watch what happens as we go through the midday hours into the afternoon. They stay low for a while, but then they climb back up into the 60s. Anywhere where that dew point number is above 60 degrees, our potential for severe thunderstorms is going to be enhanced. This is one version of a computer. There are other short-range computer models that say, hey, maybe that moisture is going to stay down to our south. That's the best case scenario. If that happens, we'll still have some potential for some stronger storms, but the lower the moisture levels are, the better our odds are of avoiding the worst weather later on today. Let's check out Futurecast, and it does keep us dry through noon, so the morning hours aren't going to be a problem. Beginning this afternoon, though, that's when we could see thunderstorms developing. This particular computer tries to pop them up already in our western counties in southern Kentucky, even a few in western Middle Tennessee. I think the initial development really is going to be farther to the southwest, and that would roll up I-65 toward Metro Nashville late afternoon, early evening. It's hard to pin down a precise timing because, again, the storms don't exist yet. They have to pop up first before we can track their movement, give you a really specific time of arrival. But it gives us an idea of the overall pattern, and the overall pattern is very ominous for Mississippi and Alabama once again today. Eastern Mississippi, most of Alabama looking at another potential outbreak of tornadic supercells, but we're still included in that elevated threat area for severe weather. The threat is greater to our south, but it's high enough that we're included in the risk area that has been issued by the Storm Prediction Center. Let's zoom out and take a look at that. Elevated threat for severe weather in the basically eastern two-thirds of the mid-state. The farther west you go, it's not going to be as great a threat. Everything depends on how much moisture returns from the south. Again, with that sun out there this morning, temperatures are going to warm up. Flash flooding probably going to be the biggest concern that we have because we saw so much rain yesterday. Strong straight line winds, large hail, isolated tornadoes. Down in that red area, that's where the most significant threat of tornadoes is going to remain later on today. Down in Mississippi and Alabama, we're not going to sleep on that tornado threat around here, though. Obviously, it just takes one to cause significant problems. Over the next few days, today's the last forewarned weather alert day. This 3-day severe weather outbreak that's been marching across the country is finally going to march away from us by the time tomorrow rolls around. Just a spotty shower or two through the end of the work week with cooler temperatures, and it does look like a very nice weekend.
All right.